Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to set your custom fan curve in accordance to the 323 BIOS and the forced fan curves that they do on you. As well, I'll show you my kind of 18 watt play mode. Alright, so as always, just jumping right into it. To change the fan curve, what you're going to want to do is go into settings in Armory Crate and then go to operating mode. And then when you're in operating mode, you'll change over from performance, turbo, whatever mode you're in, into manual. And then you can see the drop down menu and the three dots there. That's where you can create a new profile and you can name your new profile whatever. And you can have, I don't know the maximum amount of profiles, but you can have enough. So once you have that all set up, then you can go to your wattage here. So the far left, the SPL, is the maximum sustained wattage. The middle is the 2 minute sustained wattage, and then the far right is the 2 second or 10 second max sustained burst. I can't remember which exactly it is. Sorry. Feel free to correct me in the comments below. Anyway, so going to that, what I'm going to do is set an 18 watt curve. So instead of setting the FPPT and the SPPT to go up a little bit higher than 18 watts, we want it to stay at a straight 18 watts. So it's not boosting up to the 20 or 25 watts that it would be in performance mode. It boosts up to 20 watts, in performance mode. Going over to the fan curve, you can see that the second fan is a little bit more easily manipulated than the first fan, but we can see that getting to the fourth dot in is where it starts saying, hey, no, you have to set it to at least 45% fan speed, which is ridiculous. It gives you the warning, like you should, if you're kind of overclocking and doing the things, it gives you the warning. You should be able to kind of set your fan curve how you please. There is plenty of fan speed and enough heat dissipation here to dispel all the heat and that they need to. But by kind of hard locking it in the software, and I believe even the BIOS, it kind of has a lock too. When it gets to about 70 degrees is when it wants to kind of kick up the fans. But again, so you'll see that with fan 2, you can at least kind of set more of a stepping curve from the fourth dot, where it starts at 45%. And then the first three dots, you can set those as low as 0 if you want. But then going over to the first fan, which is presumably the one that's over the SD card reader, because this one will force you to set it to 74% fan speed once you get to the third dot on the fan curve. And you'll see that in a second here. Or sorry, no, my apologies, on the fourth dot in the fan curve. But so it's still a heck of a lot higher than the 45% on the second fan. So the only thing you can do here is drag the first three dots as far left as you can, and then just bump those up ever so slightly so you have a kind of nice baseline fan curve that goes all the way across until about 80 degrees. And then those last two dots, move those as far over to the right that you can, and then just move those up to whatever fan speed that you want. So the minimum will be 74%, unfortunately. So what I do is set that second dot to 74%, and then I'll set the last dot to 85% or 84%, give or take. But you can set them both to 74% if you want to keep the fan speed even lower. But that's just my recommendation for like my kind of 18 watt overclocked mode. And you'll never reach those temperatures anyways at the 100 and 110 degrees that it's showing there. So likely you'll hit maybe 75 at most, if that. And now I'll just play you a little clip of what the fan curve kind of sounds like when you're starting up a game, and then when you get into like the game menu in a low kind of usage state. I'll also kind of click my mouse around so you have a point of reference sort of for how it will kind of sound comparatively. I don't have a decibel meter or anything like that, so I can't give you like official readings or numbers or anything like that. It's all just gonna be as best as I can do, unfortunately. So as you can see there, like it does get a little loud at the start there when it's running in the background, like kind of uncapped at that little menu there. But once you kind of get into it and cap the frame rate in the menu and everything, so it's not running pinned, it does kind of settle down and settle into itself. And then we'll get into some like gameplay benchmark acoustics as well. Now, as we could see there, it did start out a little bit louder at the beginning, and then it did get a little bit quieter once it got into the benchmark. Not by much. I'm not saying it got like infinitely quieter at the benchmark or anything like that. But it did get a little bit quieter, and you could kind of hear that with the mouse clicks from the first one to the second one, and then even when the speakers are on with those mouse clicks, like I can't really hear it with the speakers on. Now I am partially deaf, but it still is a little loud to me in my opinion, and that does seem to be because there is like the hard BIOS kind of lockout where once it hits a certain temperature, or as soon as you put it into manual mode, it just has to pin that one fan up a little bit higher, and that's what's causing the noise and the whirring and whining sound in some cases. But not being able, again, to lower that past that 74%, even those, like, it's ridiculous at the amount of dots on the fan curve that they have, but then the amount of dots that are hard locked to 74%. So, like, there's really no point, because you have like 4 dots that you have 74 to 100% to play with. Like, what kind of fan curve is that, really? So, if you're smart about it, you can set a good fan curve and not wreck your stuff, and not thermally throttle or anything like that. And before, when we could do a bit more of an aggressive fan curve, that was evident, because I had a nice custom fan curve in the older BIOS, and it was quieter than this one because it didn't have that hard lock in place. So it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it is. And honestly, I'll play a little bit of the turbo fan speed here too. That one actually seems a little bit quieter than what you can do as the quietest possible in the fan curve custom. And yeah, so that's the default turbo 30 watt boost up to mode. And honestly, yeah, that fan curve does seem a little bit quieter to me. It might just be my ears and mind kind of playing tricks on me, I'm not sure. But let me know in the comments if you can hear a difference and which one might be a little bit louder or quieter to you. I'm still thinking that the turbo mode is quieter, and try to copy my settings as well and try them on your Ally and let me know what you think in person as well, not just over the video. But anyway, that'll kind of wrap up this lengthy, what was supposed to be a short video. I apologize, but I'll mark it out as always, and yeah. Wrap it up though, I'll just give a quick shout out again to my channel members. So that's Joey VR, Rico1217, Amoa, Darkstar, and Rustland. Thank you again so much, guys, for being channel members. I know it's probably like a little bit of money to you guys, or it might be a lot of money to you guys. I don't honestly know. I don't know your situations, obviously. So thank you for taking what you have and taking a little bit of it and passing it over to me. I'll let you know that I'm not profiting off of this at all. I'm keeping track of all my expenses for taxes and stuff like that with this now, and yeah, I'm not profiting off of even like with the YouTube AdSense and stuff. It's nice, but with all the stuff that I've purchased, like just in general for the channel and upcoming content, yeah. But maybe one day. But yeah, so we'll just wrap it up with a thank you to everybody for watching. Thanks again for like all your kindness. Honestly, the community has been generally very kind. I haven't really seen any hatred or ill speech towards anybody or even towards myself, which is surprising, I think. Feel free to call me a jerk as always in the comments. I don't really care. But yeah, so thanks again for watching, and as always, I hope you all have a great day.